Just my revolutionary greetings to you all Zimbabweans. It's quite very unusual for us to go live out of nothing. Except that we have just received quite numerous calls today with people wanting to inquire from the Revolutionary Party about, the latest, parliamentary decision which has which has seen the MDC MPs, I'm told 4 of them getting ejected out of the House of Assembly because they've been recalled by their party, which is said to be MDC. Now, we need to just reiterate this point once and for all. We have always made this very categorical and unequivocal. The Revolutionary Party has so many things on its table. The first secretary and president of the party has so many things on his table. And therefore, we really have no second, not even a minute, not even a millisecond for us to spare in order to know what is happening at number 44 Nelson Mandela. No, that's not our business. From Zambezi to Limpopo, the whole nation is seized with assisting the first secretary and president of this revolutionary party, who is also the party, who is also the government, the leader of government, that is the president of the republic. We are seized with assisting him in order to see that the nation comes through this COVID reality. And that's all what we are seized with. It's quite very unfortunate. We have received numerous calls, some coming from Studio 7, some coming from, different newsrooms asking and trying to inquire from us whether we have anything to do with that. No, the truth is that we really have nothing to do with all. We have really nothing to do with that. In fact, we are just watching from the terraces just like anybody else. But we have no interest whatsoever with what is happening there. Except that I need to clarify this once and for all. It was always going to be expectable that the MDC is a puppet organization is not a matter of debate. That the movement for democratic change, whether K, M, N, T, O, or Y, all the MDCs in all their various formations and manifestations do not belong to the people of Zimbabwe. These were organizations that were formed at the height of the land reform program to cause heightened political contestation in Zimbabwe with a desire to actually become a stumbling block to the fulfillment of the ethos of the liberation struggle. One of them being the land reform, which we achieved in 2000. So we do really have nothing to do with what is happening at Harvest House, except that it was going to be expectable that the puppets would meet their Waterloo one day, sooner or later. It was always going to happen. There's a movement that was formed by the ones to reverse the land reform, to derail the agenda of the government, which is the fulfillment of the liberation struggle. On top of that, to create politics of hostility in this country. And that is why the coming in of the MDC is synonymous with violent demonstrations and protests in this country. This is what they stand for. So we don't mind. But we just knew that it was always going to come to an end. Now they are trapped in a cul-de-sac. It's a catch-22 situation. But certainly, it was always going to be expectable. Thank God it has happened in our lifetime. We thought it was going to, happen probably sometime later or what. But let me just remind the nation that we are just coming out from the month of April, which is the month of sacrifice. We declared this month the month of sacrifice because it is the month that our country's independence was achieved out of the gallant sweat and sacrifice of the sons and daughters of this soil. On top of that, on the 28th of April, rather, we remembered the callous and brutal manner in which Ambuyane and Sekulu Kagube were killed at the hands of white settlers. So we knew, they said quite long ago that Mafupa Chamuga, the bones will rise again to liberate this country. Thanks, it has happened. We are at liberty, of course. We are liberated, yes. But this thing is happening because we have given due recognition to Mbuyane and his words. And now the words are manifesting themselves insofar as the opposition rank and files are on each other's throats. They are supposed to fall. Yes, they are supposed to fall because they don't carry the agenda for this country. They have called for the imposition of sanctions in this country. Not only done so, while SADC, while the government, while the president and first secretary, the rest of the global community is engaged with assisting Zimbabwe in order to see that the illegal sanctions imposed on this country by its erstwhile hostile forces like the Americans be removed unconditionally. The MDC cannot utter a word on that. Now their former president or a pretender to the throne, who is now a mere secretary of policy and research, cannot even say a word about sanctions. Because they called for them. Day in, day out, month in, month out. At the start of every year, they go to America in order to justify the continuation of these hostile policies against the country. Notwithstanding that our first secretary and the president is preaching re-engagement and engagement on a daily basis in order to restore the country into the family of nations, and so that Zimbabwe can also be seen on the global stage as an equal player. But they don't want to see those policies coming to fruition. Now they are falling. All we do is to laugh. Yes, we've got to laugh. And we'll be laughing from the terraces because we do not really have enough time to spare for them. It was always going to be expectable, and I reiterate it. And thanks, it has happened on our lifetime. The MDC's headquarters is now, quite a good fit for vendors. There are a lot of things, quite very productive things that can happen there, economic things. Harvest House can be a very good vending market. It can play a very good role as a good flea market. We have got so many vendors in town who do not have places. Places that the local authorities and government have created seem not to be quite enough for them. Now the harvest house is now there. They can just donate the building so that those, informal sectors can utilize that building, and probably the owner of the building will also make money from the rentals being paid. Why? Because there won't be any politics to talk about from Harvest House. It was always going to be expectable. Thanks, it has happened in our lifetime. We don't mind what people say. ZANU-PF's agenda is committed to the fulfillment of the People's Manifesto as enunciated in 2018 and as transformed into a government blueprint of Vision 2030. This is what we are seized with. Our hands are fully on that, not anything else. That is what we are focused on, and we will not allow any side shows to dissuade our attention in terms of this focus. And together with the people of Zimbabwe, united as a nation, we will reach there. We don't mind what is happening at Harvest House. After all, their problems are not national problems. Simply because the MTC is not national anyway. That's all we have got to say.